Welcome to the first episode of The Curious Yapper. I'm Madison, your host and favorite yapper. This episode will be a recap of our cross-country travels from Texas to Washington. Here on The Curious Yapper, we keep it real. We are learning to just do the thing instead of waiting till things are perfect. So here we go for the first imperfect episode. And then maybe in a future episode, I will learn how to add effects in videos. For background and context, I was born and raised in Texas, and my only time living outside of Texas was college in Oklahoma, where I actually met Evan, my husband, and moving away from my comfort zone is going to be a journey, and I'm ready and excited to see more of the world, which is part of the move to Washington to see beautiful things. So our journey starts March 4th. And we were shipping one car, and I only have one car, so Evan drops me off at work in the morning. This is my last day in the Plano office, and I am clickety-clacking 5 a.m. Got there. It's sprinkling just a little bit when he drops me off. I think nothing of it, of course. Who checks the weather app? Not me. So just clicking along, last day, and then 5:30, boom, power goes out. We are no longer clickety-clacking, and we don't know when the power is going to come back on. It ended up actually being a really fun last day in the office because we got to chit-chat, yap, as I love to do, and we played Uno in the dark by flashlight, and then power still wasn't coming back on, so all of a sudden we decided to go grab some breakfast. So really funny day. Winds were going, blasting around. Rain was coming down really hard, but a really fun and funny adventure. Then, in pure Madison style, we like to wait till the last minute to do things because that's when the motivation hits, and that included packing my desk. So after office is back on, it's towards the end of the day, we're in the last 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, still gotta pack my things. So my bestie, work bestie, and I go grab a box, and then we pack up my desk, boom, boom, boom. I have 2 boxes, and she ends up having to carry the biggest box, and it was comical watching us walk across buildings to get that shipped out. But yes, we were down to the last 10 minutes when I was back at my desk. And then I'm saying all the goodbyes. Fun fact, I'm a little Cancer crab, so an emotional girly. And saying all my goodbyes, and then my work bestie and I are walking out. Evan's coming to pick me up, and we're gonna head on our way to Oklahoma. And then the emotions start to hit, oh, you're actually leaving, and you're actually moving, and you won't be here anymore. Anyways, we do a little corporate girly cry together, say goodbye, and then we're headed to see my dad to say goodbye to him. And then another little Cancer crab moment. You're leaving the town you always lived in, Madison. Okay. The feelings hadn't caught up to the brain. Say goodbye to dad. Tears there too. And then we're headed north to Oklahoma. Texas is still gusting wind. The car and the semis as we're driving are pushing. So that was wild. Then we make it to Moore, Oklahoma, and we get to see some of Evan's family, hug them goodbye. The weather when we left Dallas was maybe 60, 70, so shorts weather. So we are showing up to Oklahoma in shorts. And when we're hugging his family goodbye at a lovely gas station, it is cold and we are shivering, shaking because now with the wind chill, it's about 18 degrees. So that was plot twist number 1. And then we make it to the final destination in Oklahoma, and we are starting to unload our things, and the first breakage of the trip happens, and my lovely plant, it tumbled. So I had to get a new plant. This used to be painted. So had to get a new pot, excuse me. So that was the first tumble of the trip. Unload. We finally get to eat. Common thing of the adventure, you should always be fed because hunger is a real thing. So always have the snacks. You don't want to get hangry with each other. We chit chat that evening, go to bed, in the morning, it's another emotional goodbye with Evan's mother. And I'm feeling all the feels. If anyone cries, I'm gonna cry. So that happens, goodbye. Then we go to Perkins. If you've ever been to Perkins, that's great. Oklahoma is the furthest south that it comes. I don't know why it's not in Texas. Anyway, so Perkins breakfast with his dad, say goodbye, get to have a yummy breakfast, and now we're on our way to Colorado, the first big stop of the trip. We make it to Colorado, and roads were still really windy, and the cars are moving. Gas mileage is not great. Evan loves to track gas mileage. I couldn't care. And anyways, make it to Colorado, unloading the car, boom! Breaking the plant number 2. My work girl bestie. I had to get a new pot for the lovely plant. So hopefully she makes it. I'm trying to prop her up. Anyways, stay tuned. And we unload. Then we get to chit chat and yap with my friend in Colorado. And then we get to go to dinner that evening at one of our favorite spots for burgers. It's 5280 in Westminster, Colorado. And then we come back, more chit-chatting. Then the next day, we are now on, Thursday, March 6th. And we get some yummy bagels for breakfast. And then we're gonna go head to a trail. My friend in Colorado is just beginning the journey for hiking. And so we were looking at all trails. And if you've been a victim of all trails, you know what I mean. So we are swiping through some different trails. Evan came up with one, and my friend's partner came up with another one. We're like, let's go with hers. So we do, and it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a mile, maybe 1.25 miles. Nice, awesome. You know, in Colorado, you're elevated anyways with the mountains and elevation gain. Take that into account. Anyways, so we're just going to this trail, and it's going up. And it keeps going up. And I'm like, okay, we're almost here. No, we ended up doing Mount Sanitas Trail, which apparently is a hot commodity in the Boulder area. And we're going up. I have not done a hike where I'm like literally climbing up boulders, not really a path. Multiple times, Evan is in front, and we're like, you go see if this is the real trail, because it doesn't look like a trail that I've been on. So Evan goes, we called him our mountain goat, as he is ascending all these rocks, telling us which way to go. But I am at some points on hands, like climbing up these rocks, and they just keep going vertical. Fine, cool beans, whatever. And what we thought was gonna be a mile and maybe a quarter easy trail, no. Turned out to be 3.5 miles and 1,300 feet of elevation gain, just, a casual thing. So that was fun on the way up. You're huffing and puffing, need some breaks. And then on the way down, you're like, oh, I thought it was hard on the way up, but on the way down, I could really slip and get my booty on the ground. So you had to go slow going down too. So that was a whole thing, a fun thing. So then we make it back to the car, head home, shower, bless, and we have some dinner. Then this is our last evening in Colorado, Thursday. We're like, okay, we're making it to Utah. It's gonna be beautiful, we're excited. Evan's in charge of the planning of the trip, and he's done a great job. We've made it back to the house, and I am just chilling with my friend. We started watching Kinky Boots. If you haven't seen that movie, I don't know how it ends, because I'm about to get there. And anyway, so I'm just watching a movie with my friend, and Evan is planning our little trip to Moab. Got the Airbnb booked, nailed it. And then we got our park passes to Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park, nailed it. He's sending me all the confirmations, and we're having a good old time. And then boom, 10 minutes later, oh, winter storm weather warning. Oh, okay. And all of a sudden, I-70 is closed. That means you can't go west. And there's really only one highway in Colorado, and it's closed. Okay. So are we stuck in Colorado? What are we doing? Really not sure. And now the Airbnb, are we going there? Probably not. Anyways, we are pivoting, and we're like, hey, let's not make decisions. We don't have to make decisions till the morning. So hey, now we are lovely. It is Friday morning. It is March 7th. Are we stuck in Colorado? Still not sure. Don't make a decision until about 10 a.m. And Evan's like, hey, you want a plot twist and let's skip this Utah thing and let's go to Montana? And I was like, by golly, I've never been to Montana. Hadn't been to Utah either. But hey, let's do it. Let's go to Montana. Woo, woo, woo. Anyways, then we're looking at the Wyoming Department of Transportation website. And it's like, hey, that highway you want to use to go north to I-25, yeah, that's not going to be open until like noon. Oh, okay. So let's do it. You only live once. So we go north. The highways are now open. Love it. I am the driver on this one. Boom, boom, boom. And then Evan gives me a kind of panicked look. And I'm like, oh my gosh, does that mean the roads are closed? Nope. It's just my adventure husband telling me, you know what? Let's scrap Montana and let's go west to Wyoming for the Tetons. And I was like, let's do it, skirt, skirt. So we do it. And now we're going to Wyoming. We're going to Jackson, Wyoming. Never been there either. And we're headed to the Teton Mountains. Again, I don't know what I'm in for, but I'm just excited. So here we go. And now we're on the last little leg of the trip and it's getting a little sketchy and most of the road is ice. And I'm like, okay, as long as I don't really need to stop, I'm okay. And then you've got your typical people who are winter weather experts and they are on your booty, riding it because they have nothing better to do. I don't know, but I am just telling myself it's okay. I'm allowed to go slow and I'm allowed to feel safe. So I do my best. We make it through those sketchy passes and then all of a sudden it's starting, the sun is setting. And then we see the Teton Mountains. It was incredibly beautiful. Oh my goodness, loved it so much. We found a spot, it actually said, ooh, welcome to the Grand Teton National Park. And we're like, we made it, we did it. And we pulled over on the side of the road, got to take some cool pictures of the sunset and things falling down. The the Teton Mountain Range is now my favorite mountain so far in my life. And I thought it was really beautiful, so we do that. And then we're like, oh, hey, we need a place to stay. So as we're driving in, Evan finds us a hotel, and it is pricey. If you have not been to Jackson, Wyoming, it is pricey, everything. You need air to breathe, that'll be $10. You need to drive your car, that'll be $20. Anyways, so we find a little hotel, cool beans, find a place to park, unload the car. No plants are broken this time, hey. And then we need dinner because again, going back to that thing, you don't want to be hangry. Carry the snacks. My therapist gave me that advice and in another day, you'll see we didn't use it. Anyways, Grand Teton, beautiful, get our stuff out of the car, go to dinner, come back, and we are bed rotting and ready to just, crash. So next day is Saturday, March 8th. We wake up, and I'm like, we're gonna need a place to stay. So I find the Airbnb, book it. We're headed to Boise, Idaho. And we go down for our scrumptious, midly scrumptious hotel breakfast. It's okay, does the trick. And then we go walk around the shops in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And we're up too early because we are Central Time Zoners, now about to be in Pacific Time. We're up too early on a Saturday, so we're like, okay, plot twist. Let's go back to see the mountains in the daylight. So we do, it is beautiful. We waited a little bit because the clouds decided to come out and block the mountains. So we waited and then we got to take beautiful pictures of the mountains and that was really awesome. Then we go back down to the town because I want to grab some playing cards because I collect them where I go. Look at these lovely Wyoming playing cards. And then we are walking around because now I want a t-shirt. The t-shirts are pricey. So go to my first one, it's like $35, $40, I think it might have been $40. $40 for a t-shirt. Okay, whatever. I'll pass. Then I go to the next store and I'm like, hey, there's a sales section. Let's do it. Evan is helping me find one. And I find one that says XL and I'm like, perfect, she's mine. And then we're looking at it. It was a child's. I'm so glad the bargain hunter in me did not settle on the cheap price. So I ended up paying too much for a t-shirt, but I got a t-shirt. And then after that, we are ready to go to Boise. So to Boise we go. passing through the rest of Wyoming, and then we make it to Idaho. Who knew that Idaho was actually pretty, had mountains and things to look at? Couldn't be me. I didn't know. And then we make it to our place in Boise, and the Airbnb was a guest house in their backyard, which is cool, whatever. You're walking, and there's this really creepy, weird statue that I had to shut the blinds because I kept thinking it was a human. So that was interesting. Back to that hanger advice from earlier. You're gonna notice I'll give advice, don't always take it. Yeah, we were really hungry, but we're like, hey, I don't know about you, but adulting and finding food for the rest of my life is a bit overwhelming. So Evan and I put our stuff in, no plants harmed in this unload time either. And we were like, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? And I was like, Texas Roadhouse. And he was like, Texas Roadhouse. That is unheard of to agree on something that quickly. We're like, how funny is it that we drove all the way to Idaho and now we're gonna go to Texas Roadhouse? Love it. So we're like, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Show up to Texas Roadhouse. Another squirrel moment. Girl Scouts selling Girl Scout cookies, and I have not bought any for this season. So of course I have to stop by them and get me some cookies. And while I do that, Evan is going to put our name on the list. He comes back out and he said, it's a 90-minute wait. And I said, we are too hungry. At this point, we're like not being nice to each other. 90 minutes is not gonna work. Okay, back to the drawing board. Where do we go? Is there another Texas Roadhouse? Yes. Another 90-minute wait. Boom. Okay. We don't care what food it is at this point. Okay, what? Outback. Perfect. Call Outback. No, wait. Amazing. Oh, it's 30 minutes away. That's not gonna work. Call them back. Take our name off the list, please. We are not coming. Okay, quick thing. Found another place, another burger place. Awesome. Turns out Boise, Idaho has a really ritzy place comparable to Legacy West. That's wild. Corvettes, Ferraris just driving around in Boise. Okay. So anyways, we go there, walked in circles. Parking is a situation. Again, you know, we're hungry. I'm not doing a great job trying to find the spot. We're not communicating well. Hey, whatever, it's fine. Find a parking spot. Yes. And then I'm navigating us and I'm like, I think we're walking in circles. Fine. We find the place. Looked really good. A wait of 45 minutes. Not gonna work. And then we just went to our tried and true Taco Bell. So we get Taco Bell. We have a Taco Bell feast. We are watching some YouTube videos. We are brain rotting and we are going to bed. Then it is Sunday, March 9th, and we book our Airbnb that morning again. This whole trip is on the fly. And now on Sunday, we are headed to Bend, Oregon. And similar to the Colorado portion, we have to navigate around where it says there might be river flood warnings. Important to note. We make it to Bend, bless us. Airbnb hosts were wonderful. They let us come a little bit early so that we could drop our stuff off, so we could get to a trail that I was really excited about. So we do. We get to the hike. We drove about 30 minutes. It was really beautiful. We were so excited. I don't remember the name of the hike. And then we're just sloshing around. We were worried about snow. Didn't even think about mud. It was very muddy. So we're just sloshing around and it's working for me, working for Evan. And then we're like, should we turn back? And I was like, well, this is gonna be 5 to 6 miles of sloshing around. And so we turned it around, sad. So we turned around and now Evan found another hike that was Pilot Butte. So we go to the Pilot Butte little hike. The first road was closed, so we didn't know where we're going, but it's okay, we can pivot. So we go up this butte and it actually was beautiful. And at the very top, they had a really cool diagram that showed you all the different mountains that you could see. So when we were in Bend, Oregon, you could see Mount Jefferson. There's Three Sisters Mountains, which was really cool. And there's just mountains all over, which again, so beautiful, so heartwarming that you just It was just wonderful. So the top was really cool. Then we make it down and we're still not done hiking because that wasn't a very long hike. So we go back to a park called Drake Park and we walk around the river. Imagine having walk accessible paths to shops. Imagine living in an accessible community. Well, Bend, Oregon's got it. And anyway, so then we just walked around the river, saw lots of ducks, saw lots of geese, squawking and quacking around. And then we found a pizza place that we were ready for. Again, name of the game is stay fed, don't be hungry. So we ate some pizza, made it back, and then we were brain rotting for the evening and turned on one of our favorite podcasts, the Necessary Conversation podcast. They are unhinged family talking about politics, and I eat it up. And then it was time for some more brain rot and sleep. And then that brings us to Monday, March 10th. And this is our last leg of the trip, and we are making it to Vancouver. And we stopped for bagels. I'm a bagel girly. We stopped for bagels in Bend before we went to Vancouver. And on our way, we're like, we need that check for our move-in or the cashier's check. So they allow us to give the keys and stuff. So we stopped in Bend, Oregon at the BOA. And then we're like, we don't actually remember who the check is supposed to be made out to. And again, we're too early and we can't call the office. So we're like, okay, no worries. We'll do it when we get to Washington. So we are routed to new home and I'm just cruising along. And now we're in the Deschutes National Forest, really beautiful, trees everywhere. And then Evan's like, you know what? I found the BOA that we're gonna go to when we're there. So he's routing me there. Lose signal, no more internet. Where are you in this forest? Not sure, just driving. Anyways, Evan did look at a map. We took it back to those skills necessary to travel. And he routed me. He's like, hey, actually pretty soon you're gonna need to go to the right in the fork. And I was like, ooh, that is helpful and necessary to know. So thank you to Evan for that. Then we made it to the apartment, hooray. We grabbed the check from BOA and we got the keys, we're unpacking the car. The plants made it in their capacity. And then we unloaded the car. We also went and did groceries, got new plant pots for the plants, and we blew up our air mattress. We are living large with an air mattress. That's all we got. And we've got 2 camping chairs in the living room. So we are high class, just living the best life. Our stuff is supposedly supposed to actually make it this week, so super excited for that. Yesterday we had normal dinner. You know I stopped at Trader Joe's. We got that Trader Joe's rice, super pumped about that. And then we got to wind down for the evening, watch Abbott Elementary, and zonked out. And then today is Tuesday, March 11th. It's my last day before I start in the office tomorrow. And we went on a hike today, Dry Creek Falls hike, and that was really fun. And had another plot twist in there that we went off trail for a little bit, and we're just vibing. So I appreciate you for coming to this Yap Sesh, and I'm sure I will see you again for more stories as I navigate life as an adult in a place she doesn't know at all. So see you soon. Bye, Yappers.